welcome to Dave's Think Tank. Every 3 months I get a reminder it's time to clean the pinball machines. I have a variety of products that I use for this purpose, so let's take a look at them. And here we have Wildcat number 125. This is recommended by all of the manufacturers, so this is the one I use for wood surfaces and painted wood surfaces. Novus number 1 plastic cleaner. This is also recommended by the manufacturers. You spray this on various plastic pieces and wipe it down. It shines them up nicely. This is Novus number 2 with fine scratch remover. It's fairly similar. You put it on the plastic surfaces, but it's for something that's got a bit of scratches in it. You want to clean out the scratches and neaten things up. Goo Gone is a nice product for sticky messes. If you find something sticky in your pinball machine. When I bought the Flash Gordon, the previous owner had used masking tape to mark all of the wiring, and you don't have to do that. The wires will only go in one location. They can only attach to one connector. But I took all that masking tape off and everything was sticky, and I had an option. I normally use Varsol or paint thinner or something like that for sticky messes around the house. But I thought about wiping down all my wiring in the pinball machine with Varsol, and thought I don't want to turn my pinball into an incendiary device, so I found this Goo Gone, and it's...
I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer.
That's helpful. But yes, Goo Gone is recommended on most of the pinball sites for sticky messes. Windex for glass and shiny metal parts. And Fantastik. I use Fantastik on all of the rubber parts. It cleans everything up and makes it bright and shiny, just like new. And you're going to want a variety of old rags, and this is a microfiber cloth. I'm not sure what is so good about microfiber, but everyone raves about it, so that's what I use with most of these. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's get started with the Wildcat. So this is for wood surfaces and painted wood surfaces. It cleans and polishes, and you'd think I'd be using this everywhere on everything, but there's not all that much in the way of actual painted surfaces here. Most of this is covered with Mylar. I'll tell you about the other two machines, their surfaces, later, but where there is wood, shake it up. I just put a little on a cloth, soak it into the cloth, and just rub it into the surface. Okay. That's pretty much all there is to it. Okay, so all done. Got quite a bit of dirt off of there. Surprising for 4 months. And it's actually, there's probably a little bit of paint coming off every time the ball's going around on the wooden surfaces. Certainly this area here has all chipped away over the years. I'm going to have to do something about that. And so a lot of what you see in here is paint. But let's move on. Novus 1 for plastic parts. Shake it up, and you can spray this directly on the surface. The surface is completely covered with Mylar. And the top, I made a Mylar for that in another video. You can spray directly on that, or you can spray onto the cloth if you don't want it getting around. Just go to another corner of the cloth and let's see how this goes. And we'll just rub that in. Or, as I said, you can spray it on the cloth. And you can feel it's got even a slippery feel everywhere where I've done the Wildcat, where I'm doing the Novus. And the other thing you can do with this, you've got all the plastic parts. Just go over them. And this is where you probably want to spray it on the cloth so it's not getting on the surface that you've already cleaned. And that's all there is to that. If your machine's like mine, your pop-up targets likely have a bit of a gray line across them. And the Novus 1 does a great job on that. Just hold them in place, give them a wipe, and that should come right off. And wipe on the top as well. There we go. These ones as well. I don't know if you can see that bit of a gray line across there. Wipe across the top as well. There. Perfect. Now, if you've watched my videos, you know that I make my own targets here, and it's just photographic paper. So can I clean those with any of these products? Well, probably not, except I have learned how to laminate. And I always thought you needed like a machine to laminate and special plastics, and you'd run it through the machine and heat it up. But no, you can laminate with just clear packing tape. Just tape that over top, trim it up, and you're done. So these are laminated, and no problem. Just if they have a bit of the same line on them that these had, you can just wipe them off. Okay. Perfect. Now for cleaning rubber parts, I use Fantastik. Fantastik has a warning on the back not to use it on varnish, not to use it on glass. So I generally just spray it onto a cloth so that I know where it's going, where it's not going. And soak it into the cloth, and just I use this for all the rubber surfaces, And it just takes that gray mark right off. That's all there is to that. So anything that's shiny metal or glass, Windex is my choice. You can spray it right on, but again I want to control where it goes, so I'll just spray it on a cloth here. And just wipe those metal ramps. And other metal parts. Anything shiny you want to this mirrored surface goes all the way around. Okay, and of course the glass has to be cleaned. I just use Windex. Spray it on, wipe it off. And that's the bottom of the glass. I always do both sides, just in case you put it on the other way around. You don't have all the old dust falling on the pinball. And the bottom gets fingerprints as well. There. So don't forget the back glass, the doors, these side panels, the shooter, flipper buttons. Yep. Anything that's shiny metal probably has picked up some fingerprints. Yeah, doesn't take too long. I said that I'd talk about the other two pinball machine surfaces. The Star Trek here, I bought it 30 years ago, and the playfield was rather wrecked. It was just bare wood all down the middle. And what I did at about 20 years ago, I bought a plastic replacement surface. So I had to take all the pieces off. I had to strip it right down to the bare wood and glue this plastic surface in place. And it's been there ever since. Now, over the past 10 years or so, it has been slowly lifting up in this big open area here, causing odd bubbles and ripples, and the ball would occasionally hit a ripple and just go straight down the middle. It was a little annoying, but now the entire center area has peeled up and it's flat again. So I had planned to, at various points I'd planned to take everything off and peel the plastic up and re-glue it. But now I don't think I have to. I think I'm happy with the way it is. And if I had to do it over again, I don't think I would have glued it down in the first place. There's enough pieces in place holding it down that it really never needed the glue. And it would have laid flat the entire time without. But at any rate, to clean it, I'm going to use Novus 1 and just spray it on the surface and wipe it off and deal with any issues I find basically with Novus 1. The Flash Gordon I have covered with Mylar. I did a video on how I cut a Mylar template and have Mylar up here. I've got two pieces of Mylar make up this one. I was able to buy some 1 foot by 2 foot Mylar pieces off of Amazon for quite cheap. And so I don't know if you can see this, but this section down here covered in Mylar, and this whole section from here down to here is one Mylar sheet, and I'll be cleaning that with Novus 1. Thought I should just go over how to laminate. Really quite simple. Who would have thought? If you've seen my other video, you know that I make my own decals for the targets. These are for the drop targets. And there we are, laminated. Now you just trim them up and you're done. And I like to just mark them on the back with an L so I can tell I don't end up double laminating something someday. But yep, just trim them up. All done. So I guess the question is, where can you get these? Fantastik and Windex, get them anywhere, grocery store. Wildcat, Novus 1 and 2, Gugon. Actually, Gugon, I think you can get it just about anywhere as well. More like a hardware store. But these three, you can get them at your usual pinball supply place. I guess the question that most people have, the problem most people have is how to clean their playfield. If your playfield is bare wood or painted wood, Wildcat's the only thing I would trust on it. And if it's plastic or Mylar surface, either Novus 1 if it's a fairly nice surface, or Novus 2 if it's got some scratches. Okay, I think that's all our work for today. Let's play a game.
Vector. I am a play analysis computer for your vector game plan. In position. Down. Great shot. Storm. Key. Great save. Wow. shot. See. Take aim. Why? In position. Great shot. Sword. Why?